Hey, it's going to be between, yeah, I tell you, 138th and between 8th and 7th Avenue. No, most of the dogs will be kept down the block, but you can come in, you know, so.
Okay, like, say it again now.
Most of the photographers will be kept down the block. Most of the photographers, and when we do the shoot over there,
Yeah.
it's just going to be myself, the camera crew, and yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just have to keep an eye on you then.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And if like, I'll try to keep I'll send Gerard to look for you. You know, I'm going to go back down there at 11 o'clock and go back to the place to start. I mean, the shoot's going to start around 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
Yeah, they're supposed to have the street blocked off and things like that.
Okay. So I'll just hang out and relax then.
Yeah, and Leon, well, there's people here and there's stuff in here. I was looking for Leon. He came and I just lost sight of him. So I don't know where he's at.
Okay.
Yeah, the actor, you know, played David Ruffin.
Yeah.
I just you know, saw him a couple minutes ago. Oh, there he is. Okay, there he is.
How you doing?
Hey.
Good show.
Beautiful.
Really cooking.
Okay, thank you.
Then I said it was cooking.
Oh.
Yeah, I was listening from now.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the David.
This is one of the first 20 shoots that came out. This one has one thing an advantage over some of the other things. All right, it doesn't have a zoom lens on it. I'm not going to cry about that. But it does have, you can set your own ASA phone speed here. It doesn't read the...
Yeah. Some of the rooms, until somebody controls, you can't find where the camera is. But on the other hand, suppose our society becomes affluent. Will we then want to look at pictures of struggle all the time. We would like to take a look at pictures of pure design, just for enjoyment. And he quotes Chagall, the painters, and he quotes Picasso, and he shows in the same book abstractions. And they were crazy, he was crazy.
It was just that because they were too painful to deal with. And I've been dealing with these demons for a while now, especially being in New York. So I came in here and we entered into a collaboration. And there's so many pieces, and it's very symbolic of the pieces of me. And each piece had to be developed and had to be spot toned and had to be mounted and sanded and finally put on a board. And putting all of them back together really represents putting a lot of pieces of me back together. And that's me in there. And it's been a lot of work. The installation part of it shows technically what a lot of the supplies that we had to use, but it's also just how complex things can be in society and they can be in art. And all of these pieces, I was kind of thinking today how you've got all of these different materials, and women have all these different materials available to them, or they have to use them because society makes them feel a certain way. You have to use makeup, you have to buy bras, you have to buy all these different pretty things. And there's just so much, but what you're really doing is you're trying to become whole. And do you really need all these things, and, you know, roughing out the edges?
Antiseptic or something. Also, it's very segregated, you know, you feel like there are divisions, very clear-cut divisions about people and places. And so you don't have the sense of like, that you do have in New York where there's like a mixture of everything, people overlap, you know.
Like we're sitting here talking and there's, you know, Spanish people, speaking people hanging out right out front.
Right.
Chinese people walking by my viewfinder, and, you know, it's like,
Well, yeah.
there's, it's
Like, you know,
everything.
depending on where you go, you
Collab.
could have famous celebrities walking around here or whatever, you know, but
Like you walking in here, for me, it's like, wow.
I'm not talking about big celebrities, that's the best. Well, I don't think that's.
Well, in my world, you're
Right.
pretty a big celebrity in the photo world.
But,
But see, yeah, I mean, it's not you, well, I mean, not to take anything away from you, but it's what you represent to people who are constantly trying to break on through.
what do I represent? Success?
Courage, you know, just like,
Well, you know, I've been lucky. But sometimes I think about that, you know, about where I was like 10, 15 years ago, what I'm doing now. And even though I feel the same, I realize that, you know, that there were a lot of things I'm capable of doing now that I couldn't do before, you know. It's like, you know, I used to go to flea markets. I used to go to, actually, thrift stores. In 1980, I was going to thrift stores. Then you start making more money, you start going to flea markets, antique stores. Now, you know, I don't even go to flea markets now because I know what I'm interested in, like, you know, 16th century, 17th century. But like, yeah, I mean, it's quite a trip to go from A to B sometimes, or A to C, and you know, it's like, you know, the things I'm into now, you know, I'm into because I could afford them now, but 10, 15 years ago I couldn't, and I didn't get it, you know. I was thinking about this the other day, how shows like the Nassau show, like 10, 15 years ago, I would get so excited about different shows, the little things, you know, and now it's like, you know, I'm having a big show in Australia in October at the Victoria Museum. And there's going to be a Rembrandt show there at the same time.
oh my
So it's going to get a lot of people, you know. But, you know, it's
so
like,
crazy.
I mean, that's nice, but somehow I don't have the same excitement like with your show with some of that, you know, it's different, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I had my first show here, it's just like New York City, I'm having a show, and it was like very exciting.
Well, it's where your base is. It's where you got your start, you know? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's also when you're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is new and fresh, and
Sure.
you know, it's funny how that when you start on this course, you have no idea where it's going to lead. And I mean, for me, it was always important to show. I didn't care where I showed, and I just wanted for people like Alex to take an interest in my work. And I remember, you know, going around the Lower East Side or East Village, around that time, 84, 85, and I would write down all the galleries that I had visited. And at the end of the year, I had like 30 galleries that had rejected me in the East Village, and all except for one, PPOW, you know, she put me in a group show. But all of those galleries are gone now, you know, and it's funny. It's funny that I've survived, but sometimes, you know, you have no idea where this thing's going to take you.
But you didn't sacrifice anything to get to where you are.
No, not at all. You know, I've been, you know, I'm still myself. You know, I've been really lucky in that, you know, I found galleries over the years that supported me in whatever I did. Like, they don't question it. I give them the show I want to give them, and they accept it. And so, you know, and I've never felt the need to do anything other than what I've always done, and that is to be very subjective and instinctive when it comes to my work. I do the work that I feel I need to do at the time. And so, you know, I've been very fortunate that way, that I'm doing my own thing, and that I've been able to survive just doing my own thing.
What about when you reach a certain level, knowing why, trusting people, and knowing why they're associating with you or not? I mean, has your level of interaction with people
changed? No, you know, not at all, you know. No, I mean, basically, I trust, you know, most of the people that I deal with financially. I mean, I do trust them financially, you know, the people I deal with. And on a personal and even professional level, I mean, anyone who's like, wants to work with me or is like, you know, nice to me, you know, I'm going to be nice back to them anyway. So, you know, it really hasn't. I just find that I've been able to meet a whole lot more people, perhaps, than I mean, I've gone to places and met people I never would have, except it's through my work, you know. I mean, since before 1990, I had made only one trip to Europe for a show in Belgium, before 1990. Since 90 to the present, I've made like over 100 transatlantic trips, and all over the world, you know, just for the work. It's all for work, you know. Either shows where I'm invited to do some, or lectures, but mostly shows. And you know, you get invited to openings and you meet people you would never meet. Like last week I went to Taormina, the film festival. I was asked to be a juror at a film festival. That's the first, you know. That was interesting, you know. I had to meet some people, which I think are real assholes, you know. Some real Hollywood types, because they were friendly in the beginning, but you could tell these people are just interested in one thing, you know. It's like anything that's not going to further their career, that's not, you know. But I met people like Michael Cimino, the director of Deer Hunter, and this woman named Deborah Unger. She's an actress. She's in a movie called The Game, coming out with Sean Penn and Michael Douglas. She also was in Crash. And but ultimately these people, I don't want to say they came off phony, but they kind, you know, some of these Hollywood people disappoint me. But then I met other people from Hollywood that are nice. And, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes money changes you. You know. Do you know Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
You have a photo of him.
Yeah, well, he's the actor, you know. But Lawrence is, you know, he's been around here. He has friends, like a friend of mine named Michael Coulter is a good friend of Lawrence. But at some point, you know, Larry was always known as Larry. Then he became Lawrence, you know. It's like,
Right.
you know, they have bigger stakes now, more protective about the image and stuff like that. You know.
I was walking through Washington Square Park about a week and a half ago, and there's this little cluster of people around this very tall black man, young, strapping, stunningly handsome, and he's just professing his thoughts, just going for the gold, you know. And I had to stop. What's going on? Where are the cameras? Who are the kids? What's going on? And occasionally a homeless man walks up. Hey, Chris, what's up? What's up, Chris? What's happening? And he's, remembers. Right? I didn't know it was a memory thing, but he knows all their names. So I walk up to this little kid afterwards, and I'm like, who was that? Because his PR person grabs him. He's like, okay, we're on to the next thing. We gotta go. And they're like, oh, that's KRS-One. And I'm like, one? And they're like, you don't know? He's like the prophet of the new generation. He's like the rap artist of this generation. I had no idea. But, there he was back where he started. I was so at home being there, and so not at home with this PR person. It was like...
That's what's happening.
Yeah, I think so. I think.
But
There's
the
time,
the tree, the roots, the leaves, etc.
Yeah. I was thinking about some of these rap artists how, they've gone so far in like less than 10 years. Some of these guys like Puff Daddy and they're big executives. I mean, in less than 10 years, and they have their roots in their neighborhoods. I mean, which is very different from the world they live in now.
It is, and you gotta hope that they're wise about their growth in that dimension.
Yeah, some people self-destruct. I mean, for some people, that kind of success is scary, and it's they can't handle it.
There's one of my favorite basketball players is a guy named Allen Iverson who started at Georgetown University. And was an amazing high school player. John Thompson picked him out. Actually, it's an even longer story than that because somehow he was almost like born breached, and his mom came to Georgetown University Hospital and was like, I beseech you, please save my baby. And so she had this connection to Georgetown University, and then came back and said, my boy is a fabulous basketball player, but he's going down the wrong road. And John Thompson took him in, and this guy he was considered like most valuable player his freshman year on his team, but in all of NCAA, he was like #1 point guard, selected by the Knicks, and has been playing for them. And I just read in the paper the other day, and I've been following him. I run into the Georgetown team all the time in Washington, checking up on how he's doing. And he just got caught up on cocaine, marijuana charges with a gun in the front of his Mercedes, Like he just, too much too soon, like just has lost his connection to
Go inside the cat bag. Say, okay, there is the cat. The cat is sleeping. The cat is sleeping. Do not wake up the cat, sir. All right?
Okay.
It is a very sick cat. It's on Prozac.
Yeah.
It got the flu 2 years ago. It's
Oh,
been
yeah?
on Prozac ever since.
Hasn't been the same.
Don't
since.
shake the bag too much.
I'll try not to.
Okay? Watch the lights.
All right.
No left turns. They hate left turns. It's one of them extremists.
Yeah.
It's a right-wing cat.
That's right. Yeah.
No left turns.
Okay. I'll go right each time. It looks like a good cat, though.
No.
A little difficult, but
It has given people a lot of pain.
has it?
Yeah. Because they wanted to believe. And it was sitting in the window and everybody wanted to believe.
Oh, you had it in your window here?
So it was ongoing.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't speak to me anymore because the cat was in the window. And they figured since the cat was in the window in the hot sun, it must have died. So I
Oh.
was just cruel.
Yeah. He likes to screw with people, you know? I think he likes to push their buttons, you know? He's really good at it.
Bye, cat. The cat is
right.
now in the bag. The cat is now leaving. Hey. Get a tetanus shot
Be
quick.
more careful, yeah. I could be getting rabies. So, all right, thank you.
Okay. Where you get that fancy bike, man?
I bought it. Nice bike, huh? Can't lock it up on the street, though. That's the problem.
Pieces will disappear.
Yeah. Either the whole thing or like little bits of it. I used to live upstate and I could go riding all the, you know, go riding through the woods and whatever. But it's good for the city too.
You say so.
Just gotta keep an eye on it.
A real eye, huh?
Yeah.
But it is a good one.
Yeah, I like it. I can kind of go over any pothole, you know.
Just bounce right back, huh?
I go over the Williamsburg Bridge and it's just like a mess, but I just fly right by it.
All right, man.
Okay.
Pero es forever something. No, man. And Mozambique through the veins and Mozambique through the veins to the heart, and after in the world coast. Fearful and dry and wet on the earth, always on the way up the way to space, got sure. La 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 la, la 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 la.
Is my head getting in there?
And get into the lights and sweat.
You can stay up front if you want, man.
Understand his pain, wandering, dancing up and down the wall, up and down the wall, like suave, real suave dancer people. Bam, 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 bam. A sky without the blue, a blackness, a sky, only a sky. He stood arms in the air in front forever, and we don't know yet. Be the drums drumming your own death, be they drumming your own death. Mozambique, Mozambique, forever, ever, Mozambique. Listening, moving, standing, finish, standing, unfinished, a new way, forever, at the Village Gate, 1967.
All right.
Well, this book, Panoramas, I'll read you a few short pieces from it. It's dedicated to a rock that's near a river in Caguas. It's dedicated to a ceiba tree that's visible from the road leaving my hometown in Puerto Rico. They say that there's this thing called global warming. So when you're in Ponce and it's like 99 degrees and the humidity is very high up, you start to wonder about this global warming. And so I have this hot thought. The idea that something called the greenhouse effect is at work enhances when you Caribbean encompass. Would it get hotter in the valley of Caguas just for an instant of thought, Calderon? Or suddenly more yet Guamo, when they say it never rains, even ice in the freezer loses its stance? Is it going to get hotter than a mid-October Ponce afternoon? Will we reach the point where our flesh tenderizes and slowly cooks in the air? Will we see our skin slide off our bones as we walk across the plaza, making a last attempt to get to the ice cream vendor before it both melts?
All right.
The face without makeup. Pictograph this. If we awoke one day, let's say tomorrow, and all the oceans were dried up, every last drop, you can go out and walk on the beds of the oceans, stare out into the swirls of new landscape. The whole visual for eye and telescope, binoculars catch the sight of 1 trillion tons of sea creatures doing the jerk. Octopus and whale, shark and sardine, down there sunbathing, posted as if in a fish market. Then you see that the earth is not round, it is more like clay, fashioned by Salvador Dali. Now, what am I going to do? Book here. I'm reading short posts so I can start doing it. So they don't. Jojoba. You know, I don't know what jojoba is. But they say it is a hallucinogen of the indigenous peoples of the Caribbean. And they say they have some, and they have identified the plant. I've never had any. But I imagine this poem. The sky folds and enters your tongue. The clouds become your teeth.
Your speech is rain going up to the moon. Her dark eyes come back with you. You both see another face. The moon becomes embarrassed, brings its people of shadows closer to the solar plex, together with the golden disk, running off toward a cave in the darkest islands, now closed. The river becomes a light that just stares at you.